Hey everyone, today I will be discussing all about direct proportion. Now let's try to find out what do we mean by a direct proportion. If one quantity of the ratio increases, the other also quantity increases. If one quantity of the ratio decreases, the other quantity also decreases. Now let's try to have this example here. Let's try to compare the number of clothes to the number of time doing the laundry. Okay. If you have, let's try to assume, if you have 30 clothes, it will take you an hour or 1 hour to finish doing the laundry. Now, if there will be increase of the number of clothes from 30 it becomes 60, of course, there will also be an increase in the number of hours doing or washing the clothes. From 1 hour, it becomes 2 hours. So this is an example of a direct proportion. If there is an increase in one quantity, there's also an increase in the other quantity. Now, let's have this one. For example, the same thing, number of clothes. Let's try to compare the number of clothes to the number of time washing the clothes or doing the laundry. If you have 60 clothes, let's try to assume that you will finish that one within 2 hours. Okay, 60 clothes is to 2 hours or within 2 hours. Now, if there is a decrease in the number of clothes, from 60 it becomes 30, of course, there will also be decrease in the number of time doing or washing the clothes. So this is also a direct proportion. If one quantity of the ratio decreases, the other quantity also decreases. Now let's try to apply this one in a problem or word problem. Okay, let's try to find out if this is a direct proportion. Let's try to read first. A car travels 120 miles in 3 hours with a constant speed. So when I say constant speed, the same. How far will it take to travel 200 miles? Can we say that this is a direct proportion? Yes, because the longer the time, the farther the distance. If there is an increase in the number of hours, there is also an increase in the number of distance or in the number the distance here is per mile. So meaning to say, the longer the time of travel, the farther the distance. Okay. So now in solving this problem, you need to identify the ratio here. The first ratio is that 120 miles is to 3 hours. Okay, we'll just put, miles. Oh, just forgive me with my penmanship. Miles and hours. We need to be very particular in putting the terms 120 miles and 3 hours. Okay, that should be in order. Now, how far will it take to travel 200 miles? Since this is 200 or 200 miles, where will you put that one? Will it be in the first or second? Miles, hours. Should be the same also. Miles, hours. So that 200 will be put here. Okay, now, in finding the missing term, we will try to erase this first. I'll just make it in the center for a while. Okay. Okay, here. Okay. Now take note. In finding the missing term of the proportion, you need to identify which terms are complete, whether the means or the numbers inside or the numbers outside. In this problem, the complete are the numbers inside or the means. So we will just multiply that. 3 times 200, that is 200. Okay? 3 times 200, the answer is, what did I say, 200? The answer is 600. Okay, again, 3 times 200, the answer is 600. Then after that one, divided by the remaining number, which is 120. Okay, so that will be 600 divided by 120, and that gives us 5. 5 times 120, and that is 600. Then subtract. The answer is, 5. Okay. So if you will travel 3 hours, If you will travel 3 hours, it will take you 120 miles. Or with if you travel 120 miles, it will take you 3 hours. If you have 200 miles, it will take you 5 hours. So meaning to say, there's an increase in the number of miles. Okay, there's an increase in the number of miles. There's also an increase in the number of hours. From 3, it becomes 5. So this is a direct proportion. Now let's try to have another example. Let's have this last example. It takes Mike 6 minutes to finish reading 4 pages of a book. How long does it take for him to finish reading 20 pages? Of course, if there will be increase in the number of pages, of course, the time will also increase. The more number of pages, the more number of time for you to the more number of time for you to finish reading the book. Okay. So the first ratio here is that 6 minutes is to 4 pages. Okay. I'll just put I'll just do the shortcut, minutes and pages. Okay, again, minutes, pages. So where will we put 20? Will it be in the first or in the second? Okay, since we are talking 20 pages here, so that should be put here, the second, in this, here, yes. Now, so after that one, try to find out which terms are complete. Are the numbers inside or the numbers outside? The means or the numbers inside or the extremes? Extremes, the numbers outside. Of course, the complete terms or the complete numbers here are in the extremes. So you have to multiply this. 6 times 20, and that gives us 120. Then after that one, divided by the remaining number, which is 4. So 120 divided by 4. Okay, I'll do the shortcut. And that gives us 30. Okay. So the answer here is 30. Okay. If the number of pages, if you have 4 pages, you will just have 6 minutes to finish that one reading. But if there's an increase in the number of pages, from 4 it becomes 20, of course, there will also be increase in the number of time. From 6 minutes, it will become now 30 minutes. So therefore, this is a direct proportion. So I hope you understand the concept about direct proportion. You have to watch the video from time to time for you to really understand the concept well. So thank you for listening and have a nice day.